All right, so you said your name's Lee?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for doing this interview. I appreciate it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
I'm very open-minded.
You're very open-minded? So like 9 or something? Or 10?
Yeah, 10.
10? All right, cool. Do you think you should look at both sides of an argument before you make a decision on what's right or wrong?
I believe in a process of elimination.
So yeah, you should look at both sides of the argument then, you believe? All right. You could try to speak up maybe a little louder for me, man. I know you got a soft voice. Do you trust your senses?
Yes.
Yes. Do you trust the government? No? All right. Do you think the majority is always right?
No.
No? All right. How do you believe everything came to be? Do you believe in like the Big Bang? Do you believe in creationism? Or do you not have a belief?
I believe in creationism and the Big Bang.
You believe in creationism? So you believe like God said bang and that's how it happened or whatever?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. What would be your definition of science?
Seasons, like grass growing and stuff, and like chemical reaction, like living things discharge and stuff.
All right. Do you think science should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable?
Is that right?
Do you think science, like the core of science, should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable? Like science, it should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable?
Yes.
Yeah, you agree with that? All right. What's the difference to you between a belief and a knowing?
Belief. You are confident in a belief, but a knowing. It's facts.
Facts. Like there's two people who are talking right now. It's a knowing. All right. Here's the question. So what do you think? What shape do you think the Earth is, man? Do you believe it's flat? Do you believe it's an oblate spheroid? Do you believe it's without form, or do you believe it's another type of shape?
Excuse me.
The Earth that we're standing on right now, do you believe it's an oblate spheroid like we've been taught since we've been a kid, spinning around the sun? Do you believe it's flat? Do you believe it's without form, or do you believe it's a different type of shape? A sphere going around the sun? That's what you believe? All right, can I ask you why you believe that?
You said what?
Can I ask you why you believe that?
Yeah. Because of NASA videos.
NASA, trust NASA or whatever? All right, that's fair. Do you know anything about like fluid dynamics? Like how water behaves, liquid behaves?
Yes.
Like, would you agree with me? It's 1,000,000% fact that a liquid will take the shape of its container and level out 1,000,000% of the time?
Yes.
That's how it is in our reality?
Yes.
So if that's fact, we know the Earth's covered in over 72% water. How could it be an oblate spheroid then?
Because the other, you said it's 72% water, right?
It's covered in 72% water.
And the rest is 28% land.
Yep, the rest 28% land.
So it's like,
But if water is always level, like we look at the Detroit River here,
what's the degree of a ball?
it's a degree of a ball.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen water bend and hold form around an object before?
Look like,
Like the water there, that's contained right there, the Detroit River. You'd agree or no? It's not contained? Well, you think it's bending right now? No. So you don't. But have you ever seen water bend and hold form or no? No? All right.
like if you're looking at it like from the outside of the globe where everything is much smaller, then maybe.
Like you're saying if we went out to outer space or something?
Yeah.
Well, we got to have faith in what they're telling us is true, right, though, pretty much?
Right.
Because nowhere in nature does water ever bend and hold form around an object, would you say? Or
Yeah.
All right. Do you think we breathe the same stuff in space? No, it's like a negative pressure system up there. We live in a positive pressure system. All right. Well, they tell us space is like it's a vacuum, and it's not a perfect like negative pressure system. But I know through like science and application, I know water cannot bend and hold form around something, and through science and application, I know that I've never seen anything where two opposing pressure systems can exist side by side without a solid separation. So could you give me an example of how our atmosphere is adjacent to the vacuum of space without a solid barrier? What? I've never gotten an answer on this, believe me. So I mean, probably don't.
Okay, like you talking about to where the lines is parallel to outer space.
I'm talking about once supposedly we hit the vacuum of space somewhere, but then through natural science, we always know that two separate. Have you ever used a pressurized deodorant canister before? Have you ever seen one of them spray deodorant canisters, a pressurized deodorant canister?
Yeah.
That's negative pressure in there. It's known through science and application you need a solid barrier between the two opposing pressure systems. They're telling me the vacuum of space is up there with no solid barrier. I got to take a big, huge leap of faith that can actually happen without a solid barrier. Can you give me an example of that without a solid barrier? Like a pressurized deodorant canister with no barrier? You ever seen anything that would prove that would be like legit?
Canister with no barrier.
No. I mean, I've never gotten an answer for it. But, all right. Do you know the difference between like what eclipses are, like lunar eclipse and solar eclipse and stuff like that?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go over them real quick. Solar eclipse is when the moon goes up around the sun, and then a lunar eclipse is when basically from what the mainstream tells us is the sun's on one side of the earth and the moon's on the opposite side of the earth, and it's always dark when there's a lunar eclipse. And they say the sun shines on the earth and it casts the earth's shadow on the moon. It's always curved on that lunar eclipse, and this is where a lot of people are always like, they say, oh, it'd be a flat surface if the earth wasn't a ball. I disagree. Would you agree the sun's round from our perspective?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you be able to disprove? I think it's actually the sun's shadow blocking out the moon for the lunar eclipse. You think that's possible? You think that's possible?
I don't know.
You don't know? Ain't really thought about it before?
No.
It's tough coming with these questions. Ain't really thought about any of this stuff before. All right, so would you say it's a belief or a knowing that the Earth's a round ball?
Knowing.
It's a knowing?
Yeah.
All right. I got one more point to it, man. Have you ever seen the movie The Matrix before?
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of what I think we're in, like maybe a simulation, something like that. Have you ever heard of the North Star? It's right above the North Pole.
Yeah.
It's a fact. You can look at it. It kind of vibrates back and forth, and everything does like perfect geocentric circles around it. Would you be able to disprove what I say, that everything is spinning around us from that North Star, and it causes the Coriolis effect in each part of the world? The moon pushes the tides, the sun contracts the tides. If you shoot a bullet west when the sun's there, it's going to dip down because the Coriolis effect, they say. I say that's based off a false axiom, and if you shoot a bullet west at nighttime when the moon there, it's going to bounce up. And like I said, that lunar eclipse is the sun blocking out the moon. Would you be able to prove me wrong?
Say it again.
What, the whole thing?
Yeah, just the last part.
I'll say it all again real quick. The North Star, it's a self-evident fact. The North Star's up there right above the North Pole, and I say it's in the center of us. And it vibrates back and forth, and you can look at, and all the stars do perfect geocentric circles around it. What I'm saying is everything's actually spinning around us, and that causes the Coriolis effect in each part of the world. I say the moon pushes the tides, and the sun contracts the tides. They say like snipers take like long-range shots, and they shoot them east, and when they take that shot, if the sun's there, and the bullet dips down, they say it's from the rotation of the Earth or whatever. It's called the Coriolis effect. I say it's based off a false axiom, and if they took that shot at nighttime when the moon's there, it would actually bounce up the bullet. Now, it doesn't bounce up very far, and it doesn't bounce down very far. It goes down a little bit. And then I said the lunar eclipse is actually the sun blocking out the moon. It's not the Earth's shadow, because there's nothing in between. There's no ball, in my opinion, between the Earth and between the sun and the moon. Would you be able to disprove what I'm saying?
You say you don't think the Earth is a circle?
No, I don't believe it's a ball.
I believe it is. You know why?
Why?
Because the sun is a circle.
I would agree with that.
Saturn is a circle. Mercury is a circle.
I would agree.
Neptune is a circle.
Neptune is a circle.
Moon
Do you know
is
what?
a circle.
Can I ask you? Do you know what a
You
logical?
can all see these planets from Earth. And they're
Oh, you
all
can see them all,
circles.
100%.
And we're circles, just like going outer space. That's what the project in NASA is, to go from a different place and to check on Earth to see where we at, right?
All right. Do you know what a logical fallacy is?
Logical fallacy.
I'll give you an example right now. If we went to a tennis, or let's say we went to a basketball court right now, and I had like 15 basketballs, and I threw all the basketballs all over the basketball court. Would that make the basketball court a round ball? If we had basketballs and I threw them all over the basketball court, would that turn the basketball court into a round ball? No, I agree. No, it wouldn't, would it? So just because you see circles in the sky, why does that mean the Earth's a round ball? Have you ever heard duck swan syndrome before? Like if you were raised as a duck your whole entire life and you always thought you were a duck and you were with swans the whole time, and then you just think you're a swan, you actually think you're a swan, but you've been a duck the whole time. Is it possible that people actually think the Earth's round and then they just got duck swan syndrome? Is a possibility? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree everything's round. That's 100%.
It's
That's a knowing for a fact. I would agree with you. Everything's round in that sky. 100% fact. But I would disagree. Just because things are round in the sky doesn't prove the shape of what I'm on. That's where we're in disagreements. But you'd still say it's a knowing? It's a knowing 100%?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I believe in like constellations and everything.
Oh yeah, constellations are all real 100% too. They're all up there. But all right, man. I appreciate your time, and I'll hook you up with $10, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.